What's going on, college basketball fans? It's Tori, and welcome to my video about 5 mid-major stars that you need to pay attention to in this year's March Madness. Make sure to subscribe to College Basketball Fan down below, as I will be bringing you guys some March Madness preview, and I will also be bringing you guys some March Madness highlights once the first and second rounds are underway. So with all that being said, let's jump into the first mid-major star that I think you need to watch, and that is Fletcher Magee, a guard from 7th seeded Wofford. Now, Wofford is a team that's never been seeded this high in the NCAA tournament, and the reason for it is mainly Fletcher Magee just absolutely balling out for that club. He's just 2 3-pointers away from setting the Division I record for 3-point makes in a career. This dude is basically another version of Stephen Curry. Now, I'm not saying he'll be an NBA player or anything like that, but the way he shoots the ball for Wofford reminds me much of Steph Curry and what he did for Davidson. And Magee and Wofford will be looking to make a similar run as Steph Curry did with his 10-seeded Davidson team back, a decade ago? This dude is able to get off all types of 3-point shots. It doesn't matter if he's off balance. It doesn't matter if there's a hand in his face. It doesn't matter if he's fading away. This dude will hit any type of 3-point shot, but he's not just a 3-point shooter. He can attack the rim a little bit, and he's just an absolute blast to watch. Now, in the first round, he'll be matched up against Myles Powell, which is a great guard matchup. 2 very fun guards to watch, and 2 guards you should definitely pay attention to. And that's really a game that I don't think you can miss. That's one of the best games in the first round. So you definitely need to pay attention to Fletcher Magee. The second mid-major star that I think you need to watch, and this is pretty obvious, that is Ja Morant. Ja Morant has taken college basketball by storm for Murray State. This guy will be a top 3 pick in the next NBA draft, and honestly, I think he has a chance at being better than Zion Williamson in the NBA. I almost think he's the best player in March Madness. The impact he has for his team is amazing. The way he scores the ball, his athleticism, he's a solid defender, and then his playmaking. He's such a great playmaker. This dude is probably the best passer in college basketball. And when you see a guy dunking on people like he is, hitting shots like he is, finishing around the rim like he is, you assume he's a scoring guard, but he's both a score first and a pass first point guard. Somehow, he's both of those things. If you have not watched Ja Morant play for a full game, you need to watch him play. In the first round, he'll be going up against 5 seed in Marquette, and that's a potential upset right there with Murray State being a 12 seed. He'll also be going up against Marcus Howard, who is one of the best scorers in college basketball. That is, in my opinion, the best one-on-one matchup in the first round of the tournament. It might be the best one-on-one matchup you see throughout the entirety of March Madness. Those 2 guys can really score the ball, and they're both really fun to watch. So make sure you check in on that Murray State and Marquette game, because those 2 dudes going to battle, it's going to be a joy to watch. The third guy you need to watch is flying more under the radar than the first 2 guys I mentioned, and that is Drew McDonald from Northern Kentucky. Now, this dude hit a game-winning 3 just to send Northern Kentucky to the championship game in their conference tournament, which they won by a pretty comfortable margin. If he didn't make that 3, this team would not be here right now. You'd be looking at somebody completely different, and that just shows that this dude can hit clutch shots, and it's in his genes. His dad, I believe, played at Northern Kentucky, and his family went there, and he was a Northern Kentucky fan his whole entire upbringing, and now he has them making the NCAA tournament, and he's putting on a show for their fans. This dude can really shoot the ball, but he can also score inside, and he's a solid rebounder. He's just one of those mid-major bigs that's versatile and can pretty much do it all. He reminds me a little bit of Mike Dom, and Dom was a guy who was a top 10 scorer in D1 history, and a guy that could really shoot the ball but also take guys off the dribble. Even though he wasn't the most athletic, he was crafty enough to be able to do pretty much anything he wanted with the ball, even against top teams in the nation in the NCAA tournament. And Drew McDonald, I think, is one of those guys. I'm really interested to see how he does against Texas Tech, which is a very good defensive team. I really want to see if he's able to still succeed and still score the ball against one of the top defenses in the nation, and it will be a pretty cool story if he's able to lead the team that he grew up rooting for, whose family has a history with, if he's able to lead them to that 14-3 upset. The fourth guy I think you need to watch out for is Neemias Queta. Hopefully I'm saying his name right, because I haven't seen enough of the Aggies, but I've seen this dude's highlights, and this dude looks very, very good in highlight packages. He's 6'11", he's strong and chiseled, 240 pounds, but he's also pretty athletic. Now, before you say, oh, Sam Merrill's the best player on that team, I already know. You should definitely pay attention to him, but I think Queta is a much more interesting story. This is a guy from Portugal that Utah State went overseas to find. This is a guy that could potentially be a late second-round pick in next year's NBA draft if he decides to declare, and honestly, he might be one of my sleepers for the NBA draft. The way he blocks shots and protects the rim is very, very impressive, and it's really going to be hard for a Washington team that has struggled to score lately to be able to score inside. They're probably going to have to rely on their three-point shot to beat Utah State because Queta should have that paint on lockdown like he has all season long. I definitely look forward to watching my first full game of Queta, and I think you guys should check him out too. And last but not least, this is a guy who's already played, as he played in the first 4, and that is Dylan Windler for Belmont. This guy is very, very versatile at 6'8" and a senior. He gets 21 points per game and almost 11 rebounds. He shoots a phenomenal 67% on 2s and 43% on 3s. He's super efficient, really good with the ball, and can score from any area on the floor. Belmont beat Temple in the first 4, and I have Belmont going to my Sweet 16. And for Cinderella teams like this, in my opinion, you have to have a guy, a star like a Dylan Windler that's able to lead the team, that's able to get buckets when things get tough, and that's able to possibly be the best player on the floor even if they're going against a power conference team. Now, he struggled a bit in that first 4 game as Temple was really selling out to try and stop him, but his teammates picked it up. His teammates took advantage of the coverage on Dylan Windler and was able to step up for him. So it's really a pick your poison type of scenario there. They do have enough talent on that team to be able to exploit a defense that's just selling out to stop Dylan Windler. So hopefully we see a defense that plays a little bit more straight up, and we get to see just what Dylan Windler has to offer. So that is 5 mid-major stars that I think you guys need to pay attention to in this year's NCAA tournament. Let me know if I missed anybody, and let me know what you think about the stars that I listed. With that, that's all I got from now. This has been Tori here with College Basketball Fan. Peace out.